Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to many of us. Welcome to Marketing Monday. CXO TV continue its mission to share knowledge with Marketing Monday, a chat series that began in 2020 and has completed over 150 episodes featuring top industry marketers. Today at CXO TV Marketing Monday, we have Parul Garg. She's head marketing at Great Learning. Welcome, Parul. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much. Hello to everyone there. And thanks so much for having me, Anup. I'm kind of looking forward to having this conversation with you. I'm doing well.
Thanks, Parul. So, Parul, the effective collaboration between enterprise marketing and sales is crucial. You at the helm successfully, bridging the gap between the enterprise marketing and the sales. And I'm sure that you must have resulted in improved communication and alignment between the two teams. So let's quickly dive into the discussion. So my first question is, how can the effective collaboration between the enterprise marketing and sales contribute to driving a growth in today's competitive business?
Good question. And I think the answer is somewhere there in the question itself, right? It's all about actually collaboration or effective collaboration, if you will. It feels like the backbone of every organization. And the reason why this is critical is because both the functions, marketing and sales, are where the customer interacts maximum with us. So if we want to ensure a consistent customer user experience, a frictionless buying journey, then it is very important for these two units to collaborate. So whether they are effectively communicating, there are dashboards, whatever you will, we need to provide the user with a consistent, journey. And which is why, I believe that they have to collaborate a lot. I'm also, just before we go ahead, I also take care of the inside sales. I'm the privilege of being on both sides. So I speak from the heart.
Wow, I think that makes sense. And you touch upon the customer interaction, definitely what I understand is marketers provide valuable insight and leads to the sales team, while sales team, get feedback on the customer interaction, which help in refining the market strategy. And thanks for the reply. So we'll quickly move on to the second question, which is just all about with your extensive experience in B2B and B2C and SaaS domain as well. What are the challenges you have encountered, and what are the key strategies you have found most effective in fostering alignment between the marketing and the sales?
Good question again. And to be honest, whether it's B2B, B2C, or functional marketing like SaaS, right, it's effectively very similar problems all across. And if I have to name a few, it's of course differing timelines, different priorities. A sales guy would love it if I can, sell it today. I mean, I can get him a marketing qualified or SQL sales qualified lead today itself, versus a marketer who will probably have a more longer term approach to a customer. So if I have to just give you three, it would be different timelines, different priorities, and definitely, some confusion around communication. So these are the basic challenges which come across. On how to encounter them or how to sort of, resolve them. The answers are also very straightforward, right? It comes down to having very aligned joint goals. Because if you and I are chasing the same goal, then we will tend to, walk hand in hand, understand each other's problems. So one is definitely sit before the quarter or the year starts, create your joint goals, then create a strategy, a cohesive one to attack those goals, right? So that would be one. Second is data is everybody's best friend, whether it's a marketer or a salesperson. So I have, combined joint dashboards or joint marketing automation reporting. The moment there is data, there cannot be any gap between you and I when I say marketing or sales. We'll all look at the same data and arrive at the same sort of conclusions. So I think sort of joint SLAs, joint KRAs, more transparency as far as data is concerned, those kind of two should take care of the broader problem.
Absolutely. You touch upon effective communication, you touch upon data. So I'll put up a loaded question on data, something. So could you just give an example of a successful collaboration initiative where a strong synergy between marketing and sales lead to significant business outcome and great learning or elsewhere?
Sure. I'll give you an example, and I hope it's a short story, but I'll kind of try to make
Sure,
it
sure,
simple.
sure. Go ahead.
Please, you were saying something?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yep.
Yeah. So I also in my stint, right, worked within multiple startups. And one of the main startups was a premium boutique, a chain maybe 10 to 12 years ago. And their entire USP was the experience they created for the woman. And that's why we were charging, say, 40%, 50% over the usual market price. From a sales perspective, all they wanted was, big hoardings, big TV ads or, print ads talking about how the experience will be different. But from a marketing perspective, I said, dude, he's not just going to buy because you're asking him to buy. That's always a difference between marketing and sales. So we kind of came up with an idea where instead of just saying, come and experience, come and see the center, we floated the idea of a pre-pregnancy shoot or say something which was very unique, right? And it was interesting because the sales team actually came around to the idea where we said we launch a pre-pregnancy, photo shoot, complimentary, and let the people come in. Trust me, they will come in. And I was so kicked about it because people came in. Obviously, we had like long waiting lines. And the sales team heard me. They didn't really sell. They were more focused on the experience. And we had as high as I think 50% conversion. Obviously, not immediately, over a couple of months. But this became a standard sort of marketing idea which we ran every month. And that led to a much higher conversion than any of the large hoardings or Times of India ads or what you will. So short story, but just to kind of help indicate that out of box idea and consistency between both the teams actually really works.
Wow. So now, a little bit around the data part, we know data really helps us in understanding the behavior. So in your opinion, how does data-driven decision-making plays a critical role in enhancing the collaborative efforts between the marketing and sales function?
See, data, I think we're in the world where data enhances everything or everything makes more sense with data. So it's not just something which is related to marketing or sales. But anybody who is out there running an online campaign know that we have so much data to work off. And whether the moment you put, let me take an example of an online ad. The moment you put an AdWords ad out there, which keywords to use, how is the ad messaging being perceived? What is your click-through rate? What's your cost per acquisition? The metrics itself on a dashboard is going to help and influence the decision making, right? And that data is not private to a marketer, a salesperson in very well. They may not understand the data, but they will understand the insights. So to overall put together all kinds of data is the backbone, and that is how you kind of use it. So I think any decision besides the commonsensical ones without data seem to be kind of outdated now. Nobody does that anymore.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I think data plus common sense somehow.
Absolutely. I agree with you because I think to a large extent, definitely, data help us in understanding the customer behavior, the entire journey, identifying the trend also. And moreover, it help us in optimizing the campaign as well.
Absolutely. And sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm not saying, see, it's not just campaign data as well, even market intelligence. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What is happening in the market? What's trending? What's in? I mean, over the last few years, we've especially been privy to from a recession to COVID to, Gen AI, which has changed the entire world. We've seen everything. And this changes everything. How you communicate, what you communicate, when you communicate. So I think put together both the inside data and external intelligence data changes everything.
Absolutely. I think absolutely rightly put, having the dashboard, having the shared language that allow both the teams to work together seamlessly. Common. I think that's something, and even the cost of the acquisition, as you rightly pointed, has been going down. And thanks for elaborating that. So, Parul, which are the key KPIs do the enterprise marketing head need to focus on when measuring success from a joint initiative undertaken by both the teams?
So from a KPI perspective, I always tell my team, think of a funnel. It's the usual marketing thing, but now it's a circle more than a funnel. But I would say that the first half is sort of taken care by marketing, and the side of second half of the journey is taken care by sales, right? So as a marketer, for me, the number of leads generated, lead cost, the MQL ratio, the cost per acquisition, those metrics will become slightly more critical. Whereas from a sales perspective, what is the conversion ratio from an MQL to SQL, the actual revenue size, the customer lifetime value, so CLTV, those kind of metrics become more important. But I also think that there is a third layer of metrics which both marketing and sales govern together, right? So, for example, what's the pipeline velocity, or what is the return on marketing investment as a whole? Those are metrics we sort of own together. So these three sort of categories should take care of the overall metrics.
Absolutely. Thanks. To sum up, how important is it for the enterprise level organization to align their branding efforts in strategies?
So I think branding is close to any marketer's heart, right? So whether it's enterprise or consumer, it does not really matter. But I think the reason it's important is because someone from a larger organization or small organization, they are sitting of how the storyboard should look like, what should the positioning be, right? And that positioning has to translate from everywhere across all customer touch points. So I think that is very critical. So, everyone's favorite example for branding is Apple, right? You walk into an Apple store. So from the clean, uncluttered, minimalistic look, the way the product is sold to you, the way you open the box, and it's very easy packaging. And the product obviously just starts functioning. That's my favorite part always, right? So that's the brand experience. Now, if I am saying that, hey, the moment, you come to my website, you are going to be able to do A, B, C, and it's going to be seamless, and your problem will be resolved within the next half an hour. But if the customer goes to my sales team and is not getting the same experience, that's a complete breakdown, right? And I think even though it's a very small example, I hope you're getting what I mean, that's what brand positioning is all about. And I'm from a very sensitive sector, which is EdTech. And as an organization, we are very, very specific about what we promise and what we should promise from an ethical perspective, from a compliance perspective, but obviously from a brand perspective. It's very, very sensitive and take a lot of care while communicating.
Thanks, Parul. I think the effective, collaboration between the enterprise marketing and sales will make a big difference in driving growth in today's operating business landscape. I think by working closely together, marketing can really provide valuable insight and leads to the sales team, while the sales team can give feedback on the customer interaction to help refine the market. So this collaboration can really ensure a more cohesive approach, leading to better customer engagement and increasing conversion rate, and ultimately business growth. So with this, we come to the end of the episode. Thanks, Parul, for such an insightful marketing session. And we really had a great pleasure interacting.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is all mine. I really enjoyed chatting with you as well.
Thanks, Parul. So, Parul, now.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.